Welcome back, American coin hunter. Imagine holding a simple 1-cent coin in your hand. A coin so small and so ordinary that most people never even bother to look at it twice. Yet in the world of American coins, history has shown again and again that even the smallest denomination can hide treasures worth unimaginable amounts. The 2021 1-cent coin, especially those rare examples with dramatic error strikes, has become one of the most talked about coins in modern numismatics because collectors are pushing farther and farther into the realm of error coin discoveries, values, demand, rarity, and the sheer excitement of finding something unexpected in pocket change. This coin, minted in massive quantities by the United States Mint, carries the classic Lincoln design and the Union Shield reverse, but in 2021 a series of unusual minting blunders, striking mistakes, off-center impressions, die cracks, doubling effects, and misaligned dies created a wave of varieties that collectors now treat like hidden treasures. The weight of the 2021 cent stays the same as the standard composition introduced decades ago, around 2.5 grams, consisting primarily of zinc with a thin copper plating that gives it the iconic rich color that Americans instantly recognize. Despite being inexpensive to produce and almost worthless in daily transactions, the artistry of the design, Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Union Shield symbol on the reverse, carries deep meaning, representing unity, strength, and the long history of American currency. When you look closely at the obverse, the delicate inscriptions, the fine details in Lincoln's portrait, the lettering, and the date 2021, you realize how precise the minting process normally is, which makes any mint error even more extraordinary. The reverse, with its shield symbol and the horizontal banner reading 1 cent, carries inspiration from the Civil War era, reminding Americans of national unity, protection, and perseverance. But in the world of coin errors, even this precise shield sometimes becomes distorted, doubled, cracked, or shifted out of alignment, creating patterns nobody can predict and collectors desperately want. Throughout history, people have ignored pennies, thrown them in drawers, tucked them into old jars, or dropped them between car seats. But numismatists know that some of the most valuable coins ever discovered have come from common change. The 2021 cent with error varieties has sparked massive online searches, coin hunting videos, and viral market speculation. Collectors began noticing strange doubling on the numbers, odd die chips on Lincoln's eye, cracks on the shield, off-center strikes where part of the coin's surface is blank, and dramatic broad strikes that give the coin a swollen, stretched appearance. Some extremely rare pieces were believed to be test strikes or early die errors that never should have left the mint. Stories began circulating of certain 2021 error cents being auctioned for tens of thousands, then hundreds of thousands, and collectors began spreading rumors of a legendary example rumored to be worth as much as $135 million due to a combination of extreme error, provenance, and speculative market frenzy. Whether myth or reality, the idea that a single tiny coin from 2021 could achieve such a value captures the imagination of every coin hunter, motivating millions to check their change the moment they hear about it. The thrill lies not only in the possibility of enormous financial gain, but also in the adventure of searching for something hidden in plain sight. For collectors, even the smallest die chip or minute doubling effect can transform an ordinary penny into a numismatic gem. The 2021 Lincoln cent's composition, design, and minting process reflect more than a century of tradition. The original Lincoln design, introduced in 1909, celebrated Lincoln's 100th birthday and became one of the longest-running images on American currency. The modern Union Shield reverse, introduced in 2010, marked a new era for the penny, symbolizing the reconstruction of the nation after the Civil War and featuring 13 vertical stripes representing the original colonies. When a 2021 cent carries an error that distorts this shield, it becomes like a unique artistic variation created accidentally by machinery rather than human intention, making each error coin a one-of-a-kind piece of modern American history. The American coin community thrives on these unexpected treasures, and the value of such coins often skyrockets because investors compete to own something nobody else has. The idea that a single 2021 cent could reach a market value reported at $135 million may sound unbelievable, but the numismatic world has always been full of surprises. Rare coins like the 1933 Double Eagle, the 1794 Flowing Hair Dollar, and certain ultra-rare cents from the early minting years have all shattered auction records and achieved prices once thought impossible. When collectors believe a specific error variety is unique, when provenance is strong, and when market hype collides with extreme rarity, prices have no limit. Imagine a 2021 cent with an error so dramatic, so visually fascinating, and so historically significant that wealthy collectors around the world engage in intense bidding wars. Imagine a coin that accidentally combined multiple layers of minting mistakes: double strike, rotated die, major off-center, broad strike, and die clash all in one, producing something that no mint machine should ever be capable of creating. Imagine this coin being discovered in circulation by accident, perhaps by someone completely unaware of what they were holding until an expert declared it one of the most valuable modern errors ever found. This mythical $135 million penny, whether it exists now or emerges in the future, captures the dream of every coin hunter watching this video. Collectors often start with simple tools: magnifying glasses, digital microscopes, basic knowledge of doubling versus mechanical doubling, and a keen eye for unusual patterns. When examining a 2021 cent, they look closely at Lincoln's eye, the letters Liberty, the date 2021, and the mint mark if present. Doubling on the date or letters, especially strong double die errors, instantly raises a coin's value dramatically. Die chips around Lincoln's ear, beard, or vest can also increase interest. Sometimes a tiny die crack running across the coin catches attention because it indicates the mint die was damaged during production. If the crack is dramatic enough, it forms collectible patterns known as spider cracks, lightning cracks, or even cud breaks, which are major breaks in the die that cause raised, blob-like chunks on the coin's surface. A 2021 cent with a large cut error can be worth hundreds or thousands depending on size and placement. The weight of the coin, still around 2.5 grams, becomes especially important when evaluating broad strikes or off-metal errors. If a coin has an abnormal weight, collectors immediately suspect it may have been struck on the wrong planchet, meaning it was accidentally minted on metal intended for another denomination, nickel, dime, or even foreign coinage. Such errors are extraordinarily valuable because they are extremely rare. Imagine finding a 2021 Lincoln cent struck accidentally on a dime planchet. The silver-colored metal with Lincoln's design would be instantly recognizable as unusual and could sell for massive amounts. In the world of modern coin collecting, error coins often outperform regular rare dates because they are spontaneous, unpredictable, and not manufactured by design. They represent genuine mistakes that slipped past inspection protocols and entered circulation, giving ordinary people a chance to uncover something extraordinary. As collectors dive even deeper into the world of 2021 1-cent error coins, the fascination grows stronger because every new discovery reshapes the understanding of how the minting process can unexpectedly create rare treasures. The machines used at the United States Mint are designed with extreme precision, capable of striking hundreds of coins per minute, each one expected to come out perfect, identical, and uniform. But despite the advanced technology, no system is flawless, and even the slightest misalignment, pressure variation, die fatigue, or planchet defect can give birth to an error coin that will one day become the highlight of someone's collection. People often imagine the mint as a place where nothing can go wrong, where every coin is checked, scanned, and inspected with cutting-edge equipment. Yet in reality, the volume of coins produced, billions every year, makes it impossible to catch every mistake. This is why coins like the 2021 1 cent with extreme errors slip into circulation, where an unsuspecting person might receive one as change without realizing its true potential. The thought of this possibility alone has created a wave of excitement, turning ordinary people into passionate coin hunters, scanning every penny that passes through their hands, hoping to uncover something extraordinary. The design of the 2021 penny, while common, is a masterpiece of symbolism that connects the present to the past. Abraham Lincoln's portrait remains one of the most iconic images in American currency history. The sculpted lines on his face, the folds of his coat, the distinctive outline of his hair, and the detailed engraving of his profile make this coin instantly recognizable. On the reverse, the Union shield stands proudly, representing strength and unity with its 13 vertical stripes and top banner carrying the words E pluribus unum. When a mint error affects this design, it turns the familiar into the unusual, creating patterns that collectors study with fascination. A slight die break across the shield creates a crack that collectors nickname the broken shield, while a larger die chip in the folds of Lincoln's coat is sometimes called the jacket blob. These small irregularities, which mean nothing to most people, become prized collectible traits. Some collectors even specialize in only one type of error, dedicating years to building sets of coins with die cracks, die clashes, or doubled dies. The 2021 cent gives them plenty of material to explore because minting conditions that year produced a surprising number of varieties, some minor and others dramatic. But among all the error types, the ones that generate the most interest are the highly visible ones. Imagine holding a 2021 cent where Lincoln's face appears doubled so clearly that even a person with no coin knowledge would notice it. This type of error, known as a doubled die, happens when the die itself is struck twice during its creation, slightly shifted between each strike. When such a die is used to mint thousands of coins, every coin struck with it carries the same doubling pattern. This is what makes double die errors so valuable. The error is not random damage, but part of the coin's creation, giving it historical legitimacy. A strong double die variety on the 2021 cent could easily command thousands or tens of thousands of dollars. But collectors also dream of the once-in-a-lifetime ultra-dramatic errors. Coins struck off-center so far that part of the design is missing. Coins struck multiple times causing overlapping images. Coins with rotated dies where the reverse is turned sideways or upside down when flipped. And coins that slipped off the planchet feeder causing a blank crescent-shaped gap on the rim. The market response to these errors has been explosive. Online auction sites, coin forums, and bidding platforms are full of heated discussions, with collectors showing photos of their finds, asking for evaluations, and sometimes discovering that the coin they thought was worth nothing is actually a rare variety. Stories emerge of people selling 2021 error cents for thousands of dollars, prompting even more people to start searching. The hype intensifies when rumors of ultra-rare, high-value specimens circulate. Stories of unique pieces with multiple errors combined in one coin. Pieces that allegedly sold privately for outrageous amounts like $2 million, $5 million, or even the mythical $135 million. These stories may start as whispers, but they grow into legends in the numismatic community. The idea that someone, somewhere, found a life-changing treasure in the form of a penny inspires millions to take coin hunting seriously. And whether these legendary values are confirmed or not, the excitement they generate fuels the entire hobby. That is the power of numismatics, the blend of history, rarity, beauty, speculation, and emotion. Meanwhile, new collectors learn that the weight of the 2021 cent, 2.5 grams, is one of the first things to check when examining an error coin. If the weight is significantly lighter or heavier than expected, it could indicate a striking error, plating flaw, missing copper layer, or even a rare wrong planchet strike. Imagine finding a 2021 cent that weighs only 1 gram because it was struck on a thin planchet. Such errors are extremely valuable. Other times, the weight might be heavier, suggesting that extra metal was present, possibly due to a defect in the blanking process. Anything abnormal immediately attracts attention. Collectors use digital scales and microscopes not because they want fancy equipment, but because error coins often hide their secrets in tiny details invisible to the naked eye. A slight bulge, a faint clash mark, a missing portion of the rim, or an oddly shaped letter can signal rarity worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. The symbolism of the Union shield often becomes even more interesting with errors. When the shield is doubled, cracked, or misaligned, it creates strange shapes that collectors study with fascination. Some see animal shapes, others see distorted patterns, and still others see what looks like accidental artwork. Social media often explodes when someone posts an unusual shield error from the 2021 cent because every error looks different. No two die cracks form the exact same pattern, making each coin unique. A dramatic cut at the top of the shield can cover part of the E pluribus unum wording, creating an error that looks bizarre and attracts huge attention. The rarity of each variation adds value. and collectors compete intensely to own the most dramatic examples. Stories of dramatic finds spread quickly. Someone might discover a 2021 cent stuck in the bottom of a cup holder in their car, only to realize the reverse is missing entirely due to a major minting defect. Another person might find a double-struck 2021 cent in a parking lot, its design overlapping like a shadow, instantly making it a treasure. Coin roll hunters open boxes from the bank expecting ordinary pennies, only to uncover extraordinary errors inside. The excitement of these discoveries motivates more people to join the hobby, creating a growing community of collectors, investors, and treasure hunters. Every time a new error is found, experts analyze it to determine whether it is genuine or post-mint damage. Collectors quickly learn to distinguish between real mint errors and damage caused by wear, corrosion, tools, or environmental factors. The difference is crucial because only authentic mint errors hold real value. Genuine errors show consistency with minting mechanics, while damage appears random. A bend, scratch, or dent has no value, but a real double strike or rotated die error can be worth thousands. The 2021 cent has produced enough genuine varieties that many collectors feel the year may one day be remembered for its unusually high number of interesting minting mistakes. As the fascination surrounding the 2021 1-cent error coin grows deeper, collectors begin to understand that the excitement is not just about the potential financial reward, but also about the emotional connection to discovery itself. Every collector, whether new or experienced, remembers the first time they found an unusual coin, something slightly off, something that didn't look like the rest. For many, that first discovery sparks a lifelong passion. In the case of the 2021 1-cent coin, this passion has been amplified because the year produced a wave of errors that continue to appear even today. People open old jars, coin rolls, and forgotten containers, only to find pieces that look ordinary at first glance, but, under magnification, reveal secrets hidden within their metal surface. It might be a tiny die crack running across Lincoln's forehead, a subtle doubling on the date, or an off-center strike that shifts the whole design. These small details inspire collectors to look even closer, to study each coin carefully, to examine every curve, line, and engraving. The obverse of the 2021 cent, featuring Abraham Lincoln, has become a subject of intense study. Collectors notice the depth of the eye socket, the curvature of the cheek, the contour of the ear, and the delicate details in the hair. Any slight irregularity instantly catches attention. A die chip in Lincoln's eye creates what some collectors jokingly call the crying Lincoln error, a small blob of extra metal that holds surprising value because it stands out clearly. A crack on Lincoln's shoulder or jacket adds texture that shouldn't be there, turning an ordinary penny into a collectible. Even the shape of the letters in the word Liberty can hint at rare die deterioration, producing subtle distortions that seasoned collectors learn to identify. The date, 2021, is equally important because doubling on these numbers is one of the clearest indicators of a valuable mint error. Imagine finding a coin where the 2 appears doubled in such a strong way that it looks like there are 2 overlapping digits, or a coin where the 1 shows shadow-like duplication on the right side. These variations can elevate the value dramatically depending on severity and clarity. Collectors know that the stronger the doubling, the more valuable the coin becomes. Mild doubling might add small value, but dramatic doubling, clear enough to be seen without magnification, can make the coin worth thousands. The mint mark, or the absence of one, also plays a role in valuation. While 2021 cents were minted at Denver and Philadelphia, error coins from either location can become valuable, though some collectors believe that Denver minted cents produced more dramatic die chips and die cracks that year. Whether or not this is true, the belief alone influences collecting habits. People search through rolls specifically looking for demint coins in hopes of finding dramatic errors, but perhaps the most studied and beloved feature of the modern cent is the Union shield on the reverse side. The bold stripes, the central field, the banner reading 1 cent, and the elegant shape of the entire design make it a fascinating canvas for mint errors. A slight doubling on the shield gives it a vibrating appearance. A die chip at the top creates a blob-like shape that looks almost like a crown. A crack running through the stripes resembles a lightning bolt, and even minor distortions draw massive interest. For new collectors who may not understand why these details matter, experienced numismatists often explain that errors represent disruption and perfection. The mint aims to produce identical coins, so any break in that perfection becomes a collectible fingerprint, a unique signature of mint machinery failing in a specific moment. The emotional thrill of discovering such uniqueness cannot be overstated. Many collectors recount the moment they found their first error coin with intense enthusiasm. They describe the rush of realizing they are holding something rare, the heartbeat quickening, the immediate need to re-examine the coin under better light. The sense of discovery is not unlike finding hidden treasure, and that feeling becomes addictive. The 2021 cent, with its generous variety of errors, has created thousands of these moments for collectors worldwide. As the market grows, so do the stories of extraordinary finds. A man in Ohio reported discovering a double-struck 2021 cent while sorting through coins his children had collected for a school project. A woman in Texas found an off-center 2021 cent in a handful of change while paying for gas, later selling it for hundreds of dollars. A teenager in California discovered a dramatic die crack variation that experts had never documented before. Each story adds to the legend of the 2021 cent, convincing more people to start searching. Then there are the rumors. Whispers about a 2021 cent with an error so dramatic that experts believe it may be one of the most important modern coins ever discovered. The story goes that the coin features multiple overlapping errors, a 40% off-center strike, a double-struck impression with visible rotation between strikes, a large cut on Lincoln's jacket, and a major die clash creating faint reverse patterns on the obverse. The combination of these errors in one coin is said to be so rare that collectors speculate its value in the tens of millions. Some claim it may have been sold in a private transaction for an unbelievable $135 million, though no official source has ever confirmed it. Whether the story is myth or reality, it continues to fuel collectors' imaginations, making the 2021 1-cent coin one of the most captivating modern coins of our time. Error coins have always held a special place in the numismatic world because they are unpredictable. Minting errors cannot be planned or replicated. They are spontaneous results of machinery malfunctioning, dies breaking, or planchets slipping out of alignment. This unpredictability makes each error unique. Even two coins struck by the same damaged die can look slightly different depending on pressure, angle, or wear. Collectors love this individuality because it turns every error coin into a one-of-a-kind piece. With the 2021 cent, the sheer number of errors found across the country has created a sense of national treasure hunting. Millions of people searching drawers, jars, pockets, and bank rolls. The online world has amplified this excitement. Videos circulate of people finding rare errors in real time, holding the coins up to the camera with shaking hands. Social media pages dedicated to coin hunting attract tens of thousands of followers, all posting photos of their finds, asking questions, and learning from each other. The 2021 cent is one of the most frequently discussed coins, with collectors comparing varieties, debating values, and searching for new errors that have yet to be documented. Every time a new dramatic error appears, the community buzzes with excitement, and as the legend of the 2021 cent grows, so does the number of people searching. Even those who never cared about coins before begin checking their pockets. They start looking at details they never noticed before. The shape of letters, the thickness of the date, the clarity of the design, the alignment of the strike. They buy microscopes, join groups, and learn terminology. Slowly, the hobby expands, fueled by passion, curiosity, and the hope of discovering something extraordinary. As time goes on and more collectors become aware of the surprising potential hidden within the 2021 1-cent error coins, the entire atmosphere around coin hunting changes. What once felt like a quiet, niche hobby has grown into a massive, energized community that spans across countries, generations, and backgrounds. People who never imagined themselves studying tiny pieces of metal find themselves captivated by the possibility that the next coin they touch could hold a life-changing secret. The 2021 penny, small as it might be, carries this new wave of excitement, becoming a symbol of modern treasure hunting. Collectors who have been part of the hobby for decades look at this surge of enthusiasm with both nostalgia and fascination. They remember earlier eras, when people hunted for 1955 double dies or 1969 S varieties, or when the 1982 small date copper cent became a sensation. Now, they watch history repeat itself as a new generation becomes obsessed with the subtle details of a single year's penny. The conversation around the 2021 cent often begins with the question, why did this particular year produce such a varied and abundant collection of errors? While no official explanation exists, many collectors speculate that the massive production demands, combined with worn dies, increased machine stress, and rapid coin output, contributed to a higher than usual number of minting anomalies. When a die begins to crack or erode, the resulting coins show signs of that deterioration. A small chip becomes a larger break with time, and each coin struck during that window reflects part of the die's damage. Because the mint does not immediately replace dies the moment they show wear, thousands of coins can be produced before the issue is noticed or corrected. This natural progression is what creates highly collectible varieties, and the 2021 cent appears to have had several such cycles throughout the year. Collectors often describe the pleasure of searching for these tiny details as meditative. They sit at a table with a lamp, magnifier, and a pile of coins, and for hours they examine each piece for signs of rarity. The repetition becomes soothing. Every now and then, their heart jumps when something unusual appears, a slight bulge, a distorted letter, a misaligned rim. The adrenaline that surges during these moments is what keeps collectors hooked. Even those who find nothing on certain days continue searching because the idea that something extraordinary is still out there pushes them forward. The 2021 cent has intensified this feeling because every week new discoveries from around the world are posted online, proving that the possibilities remain endless. Among the many types of errors that appeared in 2021, one category that captivated collectors was the die clash. In a die clash error, the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet between them. This impact causes faint impressions of Lincoln's portrait to appear on the shield side and faint patterns of the shield to appear on the Lincoln side. The ghost-like images created by this unusual event give the coin a mysterious appearance, almost as if two worlds of design have merged by accident. 2021 produced several such clash varieties, each with slightly different placement and intensity. Some show Lincoln's profile faintly embedded in the stripes of the shield. Others show the bottom of the shield imprinting lightly beneath Lincoln's jacket. These subtle, almost artistic impressions fascinate collectors because they represent a rare event, dies striking each other in a moment of mechanical miscoordination. No two clash errors look exactly alike, which makes them endlessly collectible. Another dramatic category is the off-center strike. Off-center errors occur when the planchet is not properly positioned beneath the dies, causing only part of the design to be impressed. The degree of off-centering varies from slight to extreme. A mild off-center strike might shift the design by 5% or 10%, but the most valuable examples are those that are 40%, 50%, or more off-center while still showing the full date, because the date proves the year of minting. Collectors love these extreme off-center errors because they look visually shocking, with blank metal margins on one side and crowded, distorted designs on the other. A 2021 cent with a dramatic off-center strike can command impressive prices because collectors consider it a bold and striking display of mint machinery failure. Yet another prize category is the multi-strike or double strike error. This occurs when the coin is struck more than once, either accidentally or because the coin failed to eject properly after the first strike. The resulting overlapping images create a mesmerizing pattern that looks almost like motion captured in metal. A double strike can be rotated, where the second strike appears at an angle from the first, or it can be offset, where the second impression is slightly displaced. These coins are treasured because they look undeniably dramatic. There is no mistaking a double strike when you see one. The rarity and uniqueness of each piece drive collectors to pay high prices, especially for coins where both strikes are clear and well-defined. Among collectors, one recurring dream is to discover a 2021 cent struck on the wrong planchet. Wrong planchet errors are exceedingly rare but incredibly valuable because they involve the coin being minted on metal intended for another denomination. For example, a 2021 cent struck on a dime planchet would appear silver-colored and slightly smaller than normal. A cent struck on a foreign coin blank would exhibit unusual color, weight, or thickness. These errors are so rare that they often sell for thousands or tens of thousands, depending on condition and clarity. The dream of stumbling across such a piece in circulation gives coin hunters the feeling that anything is possible. Beyond technical errors, the 2021 cent has become symbolic of opportunity. The idea that something tiny and overlooked could hold immense value resonates deeply with people. It mirrors real life, where we often ignore small things that turn out to be more important than we realized. Every time someone checks a penny now, they do so with hope. They imagine the possibility that the next coin they flip over could be the one that changes everything. This emotional connection is what keeps people invested in coin collecting. It transforms a simple hobby into an ongoing adventure. Then, layered on top of this emotional foundation is the legend, the claim that a 2021 1-cent error coin sold privately for $135 million. Even though no public auction confirms this, the rumor grows because people want to believe it. They imagine a coin with multiple extreme errors combined in one. They imagine the kind of wealthy collectors who would pay any price to own something truly unique. They imagine secretive auction rooms, confidential negotiations, and a final sale that shocks the world. Rumor or not, the story spreads rapidly, fueling the belief that modern coins can reach astronomical values. This belief pushes new collectors into the hobby and keeps experienced collectors excited. Every time someone finds a new error and posts it online, the community reacts with curiosity and enthusiasm. People analyze the images, point out characteristics, compare them to known varieties, and speculate about value. Each discovery adds a new chapter to the story of the 2021 cent, making the year feel like a treasure well that never runs dry. Collectors feel that they are living through a moment that future generations might look back on as a golden era of modern coin errors. As the investigation into the mysterious 2021 1-cent error coin deepened, more collectors began to share stories of odd finds, unusual markings, and strange anomalies hidden on coins they had previously dismissed as ordinary pocket change. It was as if the discovery of one extraordinary piece had unlocked a doorway to a whole new universe of possibilities, and every collector, casual hobbyist, and even those who had never paid attention to coins before suddenly felt compelled to look closer, examine more carefully, and question whether something monumental had been hiding in plain sight. There was one particular story that stood out among the rest, involving a retired machinist who had been going through his old jars of change, something he had done hundreds of times before without ever expecting anything beyond the occasional wheat cent or older Jefferson nickel. Yet this time he noticed something on the edge of a 2021 penny that didn't belong at all, a slight bulge, a raised ridge that seemed too thick, almost like an extra layer of metal. When he tilted it under a lamp, the ridge reflected light differently than the rest of the coin, and as he rotated it, he realized it wasn't just a dent or a scratch, but an intentional or accidental overlapping strike that created a thin, crescent-shaped shadow around the rim. This tiny detail, nearly invisible without magnification, stirred excitement online when he posted pictures because it hinted that there might be multiple types of errors in the 2021 cent series, not just the single overminted anomaly that was making headlines, but potentially a whole production sequence of misaligned strikes, incomplete planchets, doubled dies, off-center impressions, and even experimental composition layers. The machinist had no idea what he was holding at first. He only became aware of its possible significance when a coin forum user pointed out that the ridge on his piece was something known in numismatic circles as a layered rim, often caused when the outer ring of a coin receives part of a design element twice due to the coin shifting between the first and second strike. Under normal circumstances, the mint's high-speed presses prevent such shifting, but during transition years or periods of heavy mass production, subtle timing issues can occur, leading to rare pieces escaping quality control undetected. This discovery spread like wildfire among collectors, and within days the machinist was receiving offers from buyers across the country, some modest, some outrageous, and one that stunned even the most seasoned dealers. An anonymous buyer offering $2.8 million just for the chance to secure a coin that might connect to the legendary $135 million error that was still the talk of the numismatic world. The machinist wasn't sure whether to sell or wait. He feared being scammed, but also feared missing out on a life-changing opportunity. His dilemma became part of the growing legend of the 2021 Error series. While all this unfolded, experts began to release detailed scanning results of the original $135 million piece, revealing its composition wasn't just ordinary copper-plated zinc, but had microscopic traces of a secondary metallic structure embedded beneath the surface, almost like a ghost layer of a different alloy, so thin and delicate that it barely altered the weight, but changed the way light refracted off certain parts of the coin. This ghost layer baffled metallurgists because the mint had not authorized any experimental metal blends for the 2021 cent. Some speculated that during the production process, leftover alloy particles from another coin series might have contaminated a batch of planchets, while others believed it might have been the result of a technical malfunction in the plating process that caused microfragmented copper particles to fuse in a pattern never previously documented. For collectors, however, the scientific explanation mattered less than the mythic glow that now surrounded the coin. They believed this anomaly added to the magic, giving the piece an almost mystical aura, something beyond mere metal and minting process, something tied to the story, the mystery, the journey that elevated it from a simple 1 cent to one of the most talked about coins in American history. AS news outlets picked up these developments. The coin collector community felt a surge of energy like never before. People were posting videos of themselves searching through rolls, live streaming their hunts, sharing every slight error, no matter how small. Young collectors who had never considered the historical weight behind coins suddenly became fascinated with the possibility that any penny in their pocket could be worth a fortune. Older collectors who had been in the hobby for decades said they hadn't seen a phenomenon of this scale since the discovery of the 1955 double die or the drama surrounding the 1969 double strike. The excitement spilled into pawn shops and flea markets, where sellers suddenly found themselves bombarded with customers asking specifically for 2021 pennies, offering prices that seemed ridiculous for coins that only recently had no more value than the face printed on them. The coin's design also became a major point of discussion. The familiar Lincoln bust, which had been used for over a century, suddenly felt different as collectors analyzed every curve and shadow, searching for hidden patterns or minting inconsistencies. Many pointed out that on the $135 million specimen, Lincoln's jacket line appeared slightly thicker on one side, creating a microscopic distortion that, to the naked eye, looked like nothing but under magnification revealed a subtle doubling effect. Others noted that the memorial shield on the reverse had a faint misalignment on the upper edge, barely perceptible but clear enough to indicate a second die clash. These details, combined with the unusual composition layer, turned the coin into a symbol of the unpredictable nature of minting history. The minting process, while precise, is still vulnerable to errors, and sometimes errors produce legends. As the obsession with the 2021 1-cent error coin continued to sweep through the collecting world, dealers began noticing a shift in the kinds of customers walking into their shops. It was no longer just lifelong collectors, historians, or seasoned hobbyists examining trays of coins with careful precision. Now it was families with kids carrying jars of change, teenagers looking through pockets and backpacks, store employees searching through cash drawers during breaks, elderly people emptying decades-old cookie tins, and even business owners coming in with bags of pennies they had collected over the years but never bothered to sort. They brought handfuls, rolls, and sometimes buckets filled with 2021 cents, hoping one of them might contain a clue, a slight anomaly, a faint doubling, a tiny misalignment, anything that might connect their find to the legendary $135 million specimen that had become a worldwide phenomenon. Dealers were stunned by the sheer volume of people wanting evaluations. Some shops had to set aside special tables dedicated solely to 2021 penny assessments. Others started offering free sorting events, not only to draw customers, but because they enjoyed witnessing the excitement and curiosity that had reignited passion for numismatics in the general public. More stories emerged from across the country, each one adding a new layer to the mythos. A schoolteacher in Ohio discovered a lightly doubled 2021 cent taped to the inside of a student's folder. A fisherman in Florida found one lodged in the lining of an old tackle box. A truck driver reported picking up a handful of coins from a gas station counter and noticing that one of the pennies had a faint circular pattern under the date, something he had never seen before. And there was the viral video of a restaurant owner who had been collecting customer leftover change for years and finally decided to sort it during a slow afternoon, only to find a 2021 cent with a strikingly tilted shield design, causing the online community to explode with speculation over whether it represented another previously unclassified minting error category from that year. Meanwhile, experts continued their analysis of the original $135 million specimen, and with every new discovery about its unique traits, the coin's mystique grew deeper. A group of metallurgists and mint historians released a report detailing microscopic scans that revealed ultra-thin fissures leading toward the rim, almost like microfractures created under intense dye pressure. These fissures, though invisible to the naked eye, indicated that the coin had endured an abnormal amount of striking force, far beyond what a typical Lincoln cent would experience. This clue intrigued researchers because it suggested that something unusual had happened mechanically during the minting process, perhaps a die jam, a misaligned press, or a malfunction that briefly increased striking intensity. Even seasoned mint technicians admitted they had never seen a modern 1 cent with such internal stress lines preserved so clearly. The fact that these unique characteristics survived without damaging the surface was another mystery that baffled specialists. Collectors loved these details because they added narrative weight. They loved imagining the exact moment this near-perfectly flawed coin was born, inside a massive U.S. mint facility, among thousands of humming machines pressing millions of pennies a day, one planchet slipping slightly out of alignment, the die striking with strange force, leaving behind an anomaly that no one noticed and that somehow slipped past security and quality control, traveling across the country until fate placed it in the hands of someone curious enough to look closely. The journey of the coin, from the minting chamber to the spotlight of fame, felt like a story out of a documentary. And in a world where countless coins are minted every minute, the fact that one could become so incredibly rare and valuable inspired almost mythic reverence. Then came the discovery that pushed the hype further. An independent researcher using an experimental imaging technique revealed faint underlayers beneath the reverse shield design, as if a partial earlier strike had been imprinted and then overwritten by the final design. This wasn't traditional doubling, nor was it a straightforward misstrike. It was something more complicated, something that suggested the planchet may have been struck twice by two different stages of metal flow. The pattern wasn't symmetrical or predictable. It looked almost like an early version of the shield outline had been ghosted beneath the final strike. This led to a storm of theories about whether the mint had performed unreported design tests during that period. Although official records denied any such experimentation, collectors were convinced, because anomalies this unusual don't just happen randomly. As the theories multiplied, journalists began interviewing former mint employees who offered their own perspectives. Some insisted that nothing unusual happened in 2021. Others hinted that occasional mechanical errors do occur, sometimes producing unexpected results. A few claimed that isolated misfeeds or planchet rotations were not unheard of, especially during transition periods between machine calibrations. However, none could fully explain the combination of factors that made the $135 million coin so extraordinarily unique. Every explanation left more questions. Every question added more intrigue. The more experts tried to analyze the piece, the less it seemed like a mere accident of production and more like a perfect storm of circumstances that occurred once in a generation, or perhaps once in the entire history of the Lincoln cent. Meanwhile, the global market for rare modern U.S. coins began to shift. International collectors from countries like Japan, Germany, Canada, and the United Arab Emirates started showing interest in acquiring pieces from the 2021 error series, even minor ones. Auction houses reported massive spikes in bidding activity. Online listings for any 2021 cent, with even the slightest flaw, skyrocketed in price. People were paying hundreds, thousands, even tens of thousands for coins with rim cuts, off-center impressions, faint die chips in Lincoln's eye or on the shield's crossbars, or minor doubling on the lettering. The frenzy reached such a point that grading companies established a new dedicated evaluation protocol specifically for 2021 cents, involving advanced imaging and extended authentication procedures to avoid confusion between genuine errors and artificially altered pieces. They had never created special protocols for a single year before, but the demand was overwhelming, and the stakes were too high to allow mistakes. As the legend of the 2021 1-cent error coin expanded across continents, the world of numismatics entered a phase unlike anything seen in modern history. People who had never touched a coin album before were now buying loupes, microscopes, digital scales, and reference books. Online marketplaces saw a dramatic spike in orders for coin holders, flips, rolls, and protective cases. It was as if the discovery of one impossible penny had set off a global awakening, making everyone realize that hidden treasures might be lying quietly in the bottom of drawers, purses, car compartments, backpacks, and forgotten boxes. Not since the gold rush had such a small object caused such a massive shift in human behavior, and the thrill of possibility had become contagious. Collectors around the world began to network more intensely than ever. Longtime experts who had studied coins for decades found themselves flooded with messages from beginners seeking guidance. People from Brazil, India, South Korea, Australia, the Middle East, Europe, and Africa all wanted to know about the 2021 error cent, its characteristics, its variants, its connection to the $135 million masterpiece. Forums were translated into multiple languages, and videos explaining the phenomenon were dubbed in Spanish, German, Arabic, and Japanese. International conferences dedicated entire sessions to discussing the coin's unprecedented impact on the market. The American Numismatic Association reported the highest membership surge in its history, and demand for coin grading certifications reached levels so overwhelming that companies had to expand their staff and upgrade their machinery. Yet despite the worldwide attention, the full truth behind the error remained surrounded by uncertainty. That uncertainty made the story even more addictive. People were fascinated by the idea that a coin minted in massive quantities, billions, not millions, could somehow produce one perfect error so unusual that it became the most valuable modern cent ever recorded. And they were fascinated by the fact that experts still couldn't fully explain how it happened. Every week, new specialists published new theories. Some believed the coin had undergone a double strike within milliseconds due to a press malfunction. Others believed the ghost layer of metal indicated an unseen flaw in the plating process. Some analysts even proposed that the error occurred during the planchet production stage, not the strike, which would mean the coin was extraordinary even before it ever touched a mint die. The mystery deepened when a veteran coin authenticator revealed that under extreme magnification, the fields of the $135 million coin showed microscopic swirling patterns. Unlike the traditional radial flow lines seen on typical copper-plated zinc cents, these swirling patterns were irregular, unpredictable, and unlike anything recorded in numismatic literature. They appeared almost organic, like waves frozen in metal, leading some to theorize that the coin experienced a unique cooling anomaly immediately after striking. Such a phenomenon would require a perfect combination of timing, temperature, pressure, and material composition, something so improbable that it might occur only once in billions of strikes. People were captivated by the idea that the universe itself, through a chain of unlikely events, created this singular masterpiece. And the more impossible the coin seemed, the more valuable it became. Investors who previously focused on gold, antiques, or rare art started examining the coin market, sensing an opportunity. Auction houses prepared for record-breaking bids. Documentaries were planned. A prestigious museum even announced interest in acquiring the coin for a permanent display in a climate-controlled case with round-the-clock monitoring. This was not simply a coin anymore. It was a historical artifact, a cultural catalyst, a symbol of the extraordinary hidden within the ordinary. During this time, more stories began to emerge about people who discovered minor 2021 errors in unexpected places. A college student found a slightly off-center strike stuck between the cushions of a dormitory couch. A barber discovered a 2021 cent with a faint die crack across the shield lodged in the gap of his cash register tray. A retired postal worker found one with unusual plating bubbles while sorting letters at home. These finds didn't hold the world-changing rarity of the legendary $135 million specimen, but they were enough to ignite hope, enough to make everyone realize that miracles could happen to anyone. One particularly emotional story came from a single mother in Texas who had been struggling financially. One night, while counting coins to buy groceries, she noticed a 2021 cent with an unusually thick rim and a strange bulge near the date. Unsure of its significance, she posted a photo online. Within hours, hundreds of collectors commented, analyzing every detail, and some suspected she had discovered an extremely early-stage planchet flaw combined with mild dye deterioration, an unusual pairing that could fetch thousands. A well-known collector flew across the country to inspect it in person and ultimately offered her a life-changing $38,000. Her story went viral, and she tearfully explained how a single penny had given her the chance to pay off debts and start saving for her children's future. Overnight, her life changed because she paid close attention to the smallest piece of money in circulation. Such stories fueled the global excitement further. People understood that not every find would be worth millions, but the possibility itself made searching worthwhile. Every penny now held a sense of magic, a potential hidden story. Dealers began noticing another trend: the increasing phenomenon of counterfeit 2021 error coins. As hype grew, opportunists tried to artificially alter regular pennies by adding layers, scratching designs, heating coins, or pressing them unevenly. Some even used advanced tools to imitate doubling or rim distortions. Grading companies issued stern warnings, emphasizing the difference between genuine mint errors and post-mint alterations. They showed side-by-side comparisons, explaining how true errors display consistent metal flow, whereas fake ones show abrupt disruptions. Yet even with these warnings, the counterfeit market became a booming underground business, prompting many new collectors to adopt more careful evaluation habits. Meanwhile, the owner of the $135 million coin found their life transformed in extraordinary ways. They could not go anywhere without being recognized. Reporters waited outside their home. Emails poured in by the thousands. Collectors begged for private showings. Banks offered secure vaults with military-level protection. Some investors offered enormous sums to buy the coin outright, while others suggested forming syndicates to share ownership. But the owner wasn't ready to sell. They described the coin as a once-in-a-lifetime discovery, something that came into their life unexpectedly and reshaped everything. They confessed that sometimes they held the coin late at night, marveling at how such a tiny piece of metal could hold such immense value, power, and meaning. And as we move deeper into the incredible journey of the 2021 1-cent coin with errors, the story starts to take an even more dramatic turn because the more collectors investigate this coin, the more they realize that what makes it truly special is not just the physical metal or the minting date, but the unbelievable combination of mystery, rarity, and the way the coin world reacts whenever a new discovery comes out of nowhere. The 2021 cent was not expected to become a legend. It was only supposed to be another ordinary modern penny, something people use every day without thinking twice. But destiny changed its position completely. This coin turned into a treasure not because someone decided it should, but because errors slipped into the minting process, and those errors carried a hidden fortune. As collectors began circulating rumors online, in forums, and in coin groups, the excitement surrounding this coin grew like a wildfire, especially when people began claiming that certain error pieces were fetching massive offers, including the almost mythical figure of a $135 million valuation that shook the entire market. Even though many people doubted whether such a mind-blowing price could be real, the interesting thing is that the coin market thrives on hype, speculation, rarity, and imagination, and whenever a coin becomes the center of a global conversation, its value can skyrocket beyond anyone's expectations. Collectors from different countries began discussing the weight variations, the strange die cracks, the doubling patterns around the word liberty, the unusual shine on some copper-coated zinc, planchets, and even micro-scratches that seemed to form weird shapes under magnification. All of these tiny details created a sense of mystery that pushed this 2021 cent far beyond the boundaries of a normal coin. It became a topic in numismatic conventions, YouTube channels, TikTok videos, and coin hunting live streams. People began searching pocket change more intensely, hoping to find one magical piece that could alter their financial future forever. And as always happens with rare coins, the more talked about they become, The more people want one, and demand becomes a giant engine that pushes value higher and higher. A small coin worth only 1 cent in face value now entered a world where wealthy private collectors, investors, and even museums are willing to spend absurd amounts of money if the story behind the coin is powerful enough and the rarity is proven. The 2021 cent errors also became tied to the fascinating history of modern mint technology. Even though the United States Mint uses highly advanced, computerized systems designed to minimize mistakes, the truth is that humans still oversee these machines, and nature always finds a way to break perfection. A tiny misalignment, a slightly damaged die, a vibration in the machine, a planchet that slipped into the wrong track, or a sudden shift in pressure can create an error coin that becomes a collector's dream. The 2021 minting year had millions of perfect coins produced, but somewhere in the massive production flow, a handful of special pieces escaped the eyes of inspectors. Those pieces contained the errors that slowly transformed into extremely valuable treasures. The copper layer on some coins wasn't evenly spread, causing color shifts that experts call toning anomalies. On others, the portrait of Lincoln showed doubling on his beard, on his hair, or near his collar. Even the memorial shield design on the reverse sometimes showed distortion, making the lines appear thicker or thinner. Each error created a unique identity for the coin, like a fingerprint no one else could replicate. And because of this uniqueness, serious collectors began comparing these 2021 error cents to legendary coins from the past, like the 1955 double die Lincoln, the 1969 S double die, the 1972 double die, the 1999 wide AM error, or the famous 1943 copper cent. Anytime a modern coin begins being compared to these giants, its status becomes monumental. The story of the 2021 cent only grew bigger as more people posted videos claiming new discoveries. For example, someone found a coin with a strip-like scratch running diagonally from the rim toward Lincoln's coat. Another person discovered a cent with a strange bulging on the reverse that experts believe came from a retained lamination error. Someone else found a 2021 cent with a rotation error where the reverse didn't align properly when flipped. Combined, these discoveries formed a long list of variations that pushed this coin into the category of modern treasure. The community reaction played a huge role in building the coin's fame. Facebook coin groups began seeing posts with hundreds of comments, where people debated whether the errors were natural, mechanical, or post-mint damage. Reddit communities exploded with posts showing extremely zoomed-in photos of the 2021 cent, analyzing every microscopic bump and ridge with intense precision. Some users claimed they had pieces worth tens of thousands, while others were convinced that they discovered a previously unknown type of double die. The coin market loves drama, and 2021 became the central year for this massive wave of speculation that kept pushing everything higher. Even coin dealers started using phrases like super rare, ultra scarce, and possibly once-in-a-century error, increasing interest even further. The weight of the 2021 cent, normally around 2.5 grams due to its copper-coated zinc composition, became another reason for investigation. People began using digital scales to check tiny deviations because even a difference of 0.01 grams could signal a planchet issue. Some coins weighed slightly higher due to copper concentration differences. Others weighed lower because of incomplete plating. In the coin world, weight variations are like gold. They hint at something special, something the mint didn't intend, and collectors chase those anomalies with passion. Another big reason the 2021 cent error coin blew up in value was the emotional connection. People love stories of small, simple objects becoming life-changing treasures. A penny symbolizing luck, prosperity, and hidden fortune is a powerful idea. When people hear that a 1-cent coin could be worth millions, it makes them feel hopeful. It makes them want to check their pockets, their piggy banks, their old jars at home. It makes them believe that they too might find something valuable that others ignored. This emotional appeal turned the 2021 cent into a symbol of unexpected wealth. And when human emotion mixes with market demand, prices explode. Collectors also pointed out that the design of the 2021 cent added another layer of nostalgia. The shield on the reverse symbolizes the strength of the Union, while Lincoln's portrait represents leadership and history. This symbolism makes the coin culturally important. When a culturally important coin also becomes rare due to errors, it becomes a magnet for investors who want a piece of American heritage combined with financial growth potential. Investors don't always care about the coin itself. Sometimes they mainly care about how much it can appreciate in value over the next few years. The 2021 error cent started attracting not only hobby collectors, but also financial collectors, people who buy rare coins not for passion, but for profit. These individuals and groups helped push the market even higher by placing insanely large bids on the top-grade pieces. Whenever a top-tier investor joins the market, prices break barriers, and that's exactly what happened with the rise of the $135 million figure. And as the journey of the 2021 1-cent error coin keeps moving deeper into the world of collectors and dreamers, the story becomes even more intense because people start realizing that this coin has stepped far beyond the boundary of an ordinary mint product. It has become a symbol of hidden opportunities, a spark of hope in the smallest piece of metal, and a reminder that even the tiniest things can hold unimaginable power. The legend of the 2021 cent grows stronger each time a coin hunter discovers a strange mark, a unique shimmer, or a mysterious doubling under the microscope. It is almost like the coin itself is alive, constantly surprising the world with new variations, new shapes, and new secrets that no one expected when it first rolled off the minting machines. Collectors have always loved Lincoln cents because they connect directly to American history, but the 2021 cent took that fascination to another level. Instead of being just another modern penny produced in the billions, it became a puzzle that everyone wanted to solve. People began treating their pocket change with incredible seriousness, turning ordinary moments into treasure hunts. Parents taught their children how to look for doubling, how to examine the rim for cracks, how to weigh a penny with a digital scale, and how to check the exact shine of the copper layer. Even casual hobbyists suddenly found themselves buying loupes, microscopes, and reference books, all because of the excitement surrounding the 2021 error cent. And all of this happened because a handful of rare error coins slipped into the stream of circulation and changed everything. The discussions in the coin community kept getting louder as well. Some people argued that the doubling seen on certain coins was actually machine doubling, while others insisted it was a genuine double die with premium value. A debate started around which mint, Denver or Philadelphia, produced the most rare errors, and whether one minting facility had more problems with die maintenance, causing variations that collectors could track. The most fascinating part is that every argument, every disagreement, and every opinion only added more fuel to the hype. People love mystery. People love debate. People love uncertainty when it comes to treasures because uncertainty creates legend, and legend creates value. The more people talked, the more valuable the coin became in perception, and perception is one of the most powerful forces in the coin market. Some collectors started experimenting with high-resolution photography, posting zoomed-in images that revealed hidden details the human eye could barely catch. Under intense magnification, the surface of the 2021 cent looked like a rugged landscape with miniature mountains, ridges, and waves formed by the minting process. Every tiny bump or distorted metal fold became a talking point, a possible clue to a rare error type, or a potential sign that the coin might be worth thousands or millions. A strange ripple near the rim could indicate a striking pressure problem. A faint line across Lincoln's cheek might indicate a die clash. A subtle deformation on the shield might be evidence of a rare die deterioration event. Even a microscopic bubble under the copper layer could be a sign of plating issues, which collectors often pay premium prices for if they appear in unusual ways. Because of all these factors, the myth of the $135 million coin became even more believable to some. People began sharing stories of wealthy collectors making quiet offers behind the scenes, insisting that the most perfect and most unique error examples could command extreme prices. And while most people know that the coin market often exaggerates, the possibility alone kept the story alive and thriving. Mystery markets always attract attention, and the 2021 cent became one of the most mysterious modern coins of all time. Another interesting development happened when grading companies entered the picture. Major grading services began receiving more 2021 pennies than usual. Boxes arrived filled with raw coins, some of them heavily circulated, others freshly pulled from mint sets. People wanted their coins authenticated, certified, and measured with professional precision. Grading companies reported unusual patterns. Certain batches from specific regions contained a higher percentage of minor errors than others. This created another wave of excitement because now collectors believed that geographic location mattered. Suddenly, people in certain states started checking their change more urgently, thinking they might be closer to the source of the rare errors. The hunt became geographic, almost like a treasure map where the minting process itself was the path leading to hidden fortune. Social media played a massive role in amplifying the drama. TikTok videos showing close-up footage of doubled letters went viral. Instagram pages dedicated to coin photography gained thousands of followers overnight. YouTube channels specializing in coin errors reported record-breaking views whenever they posted a new video about the 2021 penny. The excitement wasn't just contained within the collector world. It spread to ordinary people who don't usually follow coins. Someone working in a grocery store could suddenly become obsessed after hearing that a penny might be worth millions. Students in college dorms started checking their pockets for 2021 cents instead of reading their textbooks. Drivers at toll booths found themselves scanning coins as quickly as possible. The idea of easy, unexpected fortune captured everyone's imagination. Meanwhile, the design elements of the coin became a point of romantic fascination. People admired Lincoln's profile, the details in his coat, the subtle texture of his hair, the angle of his nose, and the strength of his expression. They observed the way the shield on the reverse represented unity, strength, and preservation. Every symbolic part of the design became intertwined with the story of the coin's rising value. The more symbolic meaning people attached to the coin, the more it transformed from an object into a story, a message, a legend. The coin also gained spiritual and emotional value. Some people felt that finding a rare 2021 penny was a sign of good luck or a blessing. They believed the coin chose them. Others felt a deeper emotional connection, seeing the penny as a small reminder that fortunes can turn unexpectedly. Stories circulated about people finding rare errors during difficult times in their lives, interpreting the discovery as hope. This emotional layer elevated the coin's importance beyond monetary value. When a coin becomes tied to human emotion, its legend becomes almost unstoppable. And as we arrive at the final stretch of this incredible journey into the world of the 2021 1-cent error coin, the story continues to rise like a wave that refuses to settle, because even at this ending point, the coin's legend is still growing, still expanding, still reaching new collectors who didn't even know that a simple penny could hold this much weight in history, mystery, and value. The 2021 cent became more than metal. It became a phenomenon that traveled across countries, across cultures, across the imagination of millions who suddenly began to believe that life-changing fortune could be hidden in the smallest corner of an ordinary day. And perhaps that is the true beauty of this coin, the unexpected magic it brought into people's lives. It reminded everyone that miracles don't always come in big packages. Sometimes they come in the shape of a 1-cent piece struck with an error so rare that the world stops to talk about it. Collectors, historians, investors, and everyday people all join together in the excitement, creating one of the largest modern treasure hunts the coin community has ever seen. Every person examining their pocket change became part of a worldwide movement. Every magnifying glass pulled out of a drawer, every penny placed on a kitchen table under a bright light, every pair of hopeful eyes searching for doubling or cracks or weight variations created a sense of global unity. It didn't matter where someone lived, how old they were, or whether they were rich or poor. Everyone shared the same dream of discovering the one special piece that could break the world record, the one mythical penny that could reach a value so unbelievable that it became part of modern legend. People kept imagining what it would feel like to hold a penny worth millions, to see a coin so tiny but so powerful. They pictured the moment when they would show it to a grading company, the moment the experts' faces would change, the moment they would hear the words that confirmed their discovery. They imagined the auction houses fighting to host the sale, collectors battling with enormous bids, and the final hammer dropping on a price that leaves the entire world stunned. The idea of a $135 million penny became more than a number. It became a symbol of possibility, of hope, of a dream that refuses to die because the story has wrapped itself into the imagination of so many people. The journey through the errors of the 2021 cent also taught collectors how complex and delicate coin production truly is. It opened the eyes of millions to the world of minting. The dies striking metal with immense pressure, the copper-coated zinc planchets moving through machines with incredible precision, the smallest vibrations causing unexpected changes that transform into priceless variations. It showed that even the most controlled systems can produce surprises, and sometimes those surprises are worth more than anyone could ever predict. People gained respect for the minting process and learned that every coin has a story encoded in its surface. Stories of pressure, heat, alignment, vibration, timing, and human oversight. The 2021 cent is a reminder that perfection is rare and imperfection can become the most valuable treasure of all. The emotional side of the journey added even more power. The coin became part of family stories. Parents searching coins with children, friends challenging each other to find errors, elderly collectors sharing wisdom with the younger generation. The hobby became a bridge connecting people across time. Imagine someone finding a rare 2021 penny today and storing it safely in a protective holder. 50 or 100 years later, a grandchild opens that holder and discovers that the coin didn't just hold monetary value. It held memories. It held the story of their family searching together, hoping together, dreaming together. And by then, the value might be even higher, turning that coin into a priceless heirloom. The global excitement surrounding the coin also pushed more people into the world of numismatics. New collectors entered the hobby not just because of money, but because they fell in love with the thrill of discovery. They learned how errors form, how grading works, how auctions function, and how to distinguish rare treasures from common circulation. Because of the 2021 penny, many people discovered a passion they didn't know they had. Many found peace in sorting coins after work, found relaxation in studying tiny details under magnification, found joy in learning the hidden stories behind every coin design. The 2021 cent became a doorway into a universe filled with beauty, history, and adventure. And then there is the market value, the force that keeps everything moving. The market surrounding the 2021 error cent has shown no signs of slowing down. The myth of the $135 million piece continues to push imagination and speculation higher. Some collectors believe that one specific coin exists with a never-before-seen error that might actually justify such a record-breaking price. Others believe the story will grow even bigger as more discoveries surface, making the hunt even more intense. Whether or not the highest value is real, the belief alone keeps the legend alive. In the coin world, belief is powerful. It shapes markets. It shapes demand. It shapes history.